Hello everyone, this is Stephanie, your CSA coach, and it is week 6, I think it's B, for CSA shares for the 2024 CSA season. 2 quick announcements. July 4th is next week. It's next Thursday. Pickup for next Thursday will remain as usual, except we're only having pickup until 6 p.m. So please get there by 6 p.m. so our farmers have a little bit of a break in the evening. So normal pickup on Thursday, July 4th, just pickup ends at 6 p.m. Second announcement is flowers have started. So make your container to pick up flowers and arrange your flowers. Glass is not allowed in the fields, so make a fun, this is super easy. It's just an old water jug that I cut out. There's tutorials on the Facebook group, but I go to the field, pick my flowers, throw the flowers in here, and then go to the faucet and fill it with a little bit of water so that it makes its way home. But flowers started, so you need some sort of plastic jug to bring out to the field and clippers, so make sure those come with you. Jumping right into this week's shares, we have romaine lettuce stored in the fridge in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a plastic bag. Great as a base for salads or on burgers, on tacos. You can use the lettuce leaves for like a vessel for a wrap. You can shred it up and do a chopped salad. You can just use it as a base along with our salad greens. So romaine lettuce. We have salad mix. Salad mix is stored just like this. This is probably one of the first things you want to use this week. When you get ready to use your salad mix, throw it into a big container of water, swish it around. Then I take my salad greens and throw them into my salad spinner, spin it around to get them nice and dry, and then I dress them. So I like to get them nice and soaked so that they're clean, very clean before I dress them into a salad. But obviously a great base for any sort of salad. You can make it a very hearty salad with lots of other things, or just make it a simple green salad as a side. So those are our salad greens. We have kale. Kale is stored in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a plastic bag in the fridge. Kale can be eaten raw. It's really good in like a massaged kale salad. We have a kale Caesar salad on the blog. There's ranch kale chips in the blog. You can do green cubes. So if you have a lot of greens that you've accumulated and you haven't been using them, you can use the PDF in our hub for green cubes. And those are always really good to add to like smoothies and things like that. Kale is full of amazing nutrients, so you can just do a simple saute. All of your greens, and we created a PDF for you, you can make a simple sauteed greens, and you can mix and match any of the greens that you have. So kale, Swiss chard, any of our turnip, radish, beet tops, any of those can be mixed with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, and create an easy, simple side. So that's our kale. We have dandelion greens, same basic idea, stored in the fridge in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a Ziploc bag. These are pretty large this week, so I'll throw them in one of my large Debbie Meyer green bags. Dandelion greens, I know there's a recipe for simple dandelions. I'm pretty sure I throw them they pair really well with bacon. The bacon fat kind of pulls out some of that bitterness from the greens. You can soak these in salt water and it helps pull some of that bitterness. You can eat dandelion greens raw. You can cook them, do a simple saute or a quick blanch, and they can also be added to our green cubes or to smoothies. We have beets. So some of you have had beets so far this season, some of us have not, but the very first thing you're gonna do is take off the beet tops, store them in a separate bag, and then our bottoms get stored in a separate bag in the fridge. Beet tops, any sort of green. So you can chop them up and serve them raw. You can do a simple saute with garlic and onion. So those are our beet tops. The bottoms, often roasted, pickled. I just last night, to get rid of a bunch of my vegetables, did a big sheet pan roasted veggies. So that's an idea. It's a great side for a grilled protein. So I had a big batch of sauteed veggies or roasted veggies, and then we just served them with grilled chicken. These are really good. I love having pickled beets and then throwing them on salad. So this is one, there's a variety of pickled beets. I think I have pickled beets 2 ways on the blog, but there's lots of recipes for pickled beets, or you could just simply saute them. You could also eat them raw. So I have shredded them and added them to salad just to add color, or do like a simple, these are golden beets, but you might get red ones. Do like a sliver. So I use my mandolin and cut them as thin as possible and throw them onto a salad. That's very good. We have cucumbers. So we have slicing cucumbers and our Kirby's. These get stored in the fridge in your crisper drawer. Most often I just simply chop up the, either of them actually, the slicing or the Kirby's, and throw them on the table for the boys to eat as they're passing through. They add them to their salads. They also will just throw them as a side for their lunches. So most often I think we eat these raw, but there are options for pickling them. There's quick pickle recipe PDF on our hub that you can refer to. We have dill in the share this week, so that pairs really well with our Kirby's, but stored in the fridge in the crisper drawer. You can also just do a simple cucumber salad, and I'm pretty sure I have like a cucumber salsa on the blog as well, so check that out. We have our dill, which I just mentioned pairs really well with our Kirby's. This gets stored in the fridge in a glass jar. If you know you're not going to use it, then I recommend you dehydrate the dill so that you preserve it, or throw it between paper towels in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. Either way prolongs the life of our dill. If you know you're going to use it, it pairs really well with our cucumbers and also with our potatoes. You can do a dill dip. There's a dill veggie dip on the blog with the fresh dill. It's amazing, and we have lots of vegetables that you can add to that also. We have new potatoes. So new potatoes are not cured, so we want to store them in the fridge. So I just put them in a glass bowl, and I'll put them right in the fridge. We used last week's for hash browns. I also used them for our fritters. So last week's recipe was a vegetable fritter. We have all of those ingredients this week. I also created a PDF, so you can kind of change that up throughout the season based on what vegetables you have. But potatoes, summer squash, all really good options for a fritter. I'm gonna make a big batch of them this week and throw them in the freezer so that we have them throughout the season. But new potatoes are stored in the fridge. There are lots of recipes on the blog. I know there's like a smashed potato. There's a potato and summer squash bake. You could do a potato salad. You could just do simply roasted potatoes. So we used up the rest of our potatoes last night in that big roasted veggie sheet pan. We have sugar snap peas. So we got to pick a pint, probably the last of what we're seeing for these sugar snaps. They get stored in the fridge. I say this over and over again, but mine never make it to the fridge. I wash them, I throw them into a bowl, and I put them on the table, and they are gone before dinner. So they never even make it to dinner time on Tuesdays. We love raw sugar snap peas. So you can chop them up and add them to salad. You can throw them into stir fries. You can just simply saute them as a side, but we prefer them raw, so I never ever even cook them. They get stored in the fridge. We have summer squash. So lots of varieties of summer squash get stored in the crisper drawer of your fridge. You can grill these. So when I grill them, I like slicing them long ways and then just kind of brushing them with a little bit of oil and then throwing them on the grill, and you get the nice grill marks on them. I like to slice them a little bit thicker because they do cook pretty quickly. These are great just roasted in the oven. They're in the fritter recipe from last week. What else? I often, if I have a lot of them, I shred them, measure them into 2-cup increments, and then throw them in Ziploc bags and freeze them, just so I have them throughout the season. They're great in like chilies. They're great thrown in baked goods. So lots of options there. We will see these for weeks and weeks. So make sure you're using a variety of different ways to eat them, just to change up. We have broccoli again. So broccoli gets stored in the fridge. I like to throw it in a Debbie Meyer green bag. When I go to use it, I soak it in salt water. So I make sure the heads are down, throw it in some salt water. The entire thing is usable. So I just cut off the outer harder layer of the stem, but I chop up the stem as well as the florets. There's a recipe for I think it's called like a marinated spring vegetable salad. That's what I'm planning on making this week, with kind of changing up the vegetables based on what I have, but I know broccoli is one of them. If you get the mushrooms, you can throw your mushroom share in there as well, but it's just a light, easy salad that you can make ahead of time, let it marinate, and throw it on the side with any grilled protein. So this week is gonna be hot, so we're trying to grill a lot. So this gets stored in the fridge. It can be eaten raw or it can be cooked. You can simply steam it, you can roast it. We will be doing a quick blanch and then throwing it into that marinated salad. Last but not least, we have spring sweet onions, or fresh sweet onions, I think is what we call them. The entire thing can be used. So the tops can be used just like a scallion. If you want, you can throw them in a Ziploc bag or a Debbie Meyer green bag just like this, but they are not cured, just like our potatoes. Later in the season, they'll be cured, so we can just store them in a cool, dry place. But right now, they're not cured, so we want to store them in the fridge. So these are amazing in anything you would normally use onions in. So chop them up and throw them into your veggie sheet pan, roasted veggies. You can grill them. I know I have a whole roasted onion recipe on the blog that's really good. You can do caramelized onions, and I'm pretty sure I did like a caramelized onion dressing at one point. That is delicious. So go to the blog. There's a lot of recipes. If you have not gone there and kind of searched around, type in like onions and you'll get a bunch of different recipes and ways to try them. But do not throw out the tops. If you're not gonna use the tops of these onions, chop them off, throw them in your freezer bag for your veggie scraps, and save them to make homemade veggie broth. But those are usable just as much as the bottoms. That is it for this week. Remember to take a look and do an inventory of what's currently in your fridge before you put the new share in there. Use up what you have left, and then focus probably first on our salad greens for this week, and then work through the rest of the produce that we have for this week. Any questions, just make sure you tag me in any posts on Facebook. If not, I will see you again next Tuesday.